Hi, everyone. So I'm testing out this new platform for multi-streaming, and let's see how this goes, and let's see what happens at the end of it. Um, I would love to hear you guys if you are here. I'm testing that too to see where these comments come in. It's going to be interesting to see all of this. But since I'm here anyway, and since this is supposed to be live anyway, I want to try and deliver some value to you today, at least a little bit that I can. So today I want to talk about productivity, personal choice, awareness, and mindset. And the reason I'm doing this literally actually is because of all of these posts and memes that are proliferating every space on the internet about how this is the perfect time for you to be more productive. This is the perfect time for you to start a business. This is the perfect time for you to learn a new skill. This is the perfect time for you to level up. And this is the perfect time for you to do X, Y, Z, A, B, C, and whatever other languages even, where you really can, quote unquote, become the best version of yourself and start a 7-figure business and so on and so forth. And, there is some truth to that, but it is also a little disingenuous depending on who you are and who you talk to. And that's what I want to talk about today. Hi, Facebook user. It doesn't show me who you are. It just says Facebook user. So that's very interesting to find out. But so what I want to talk about today in terms of productivity, personal choice, awareness, and mindset is, first of all, please let me start off by saying, when you see memes like that, it is totally okay to keep scrolling and not pay attention to them. If somebody else is telling you to do something for your productivity, it is totally okay to ignore it, because you first have to decide what your definition of productivity right now is. And what I mean by that is, we know that this period that we're going through right now is a period of collective trauma. It is also a period of intense fear, panic, hoarding, irrational behaviors, and the whole 9 yards. And these emotions can manifest as exhaustion, mental exhaustion, because especially trauma and grief, they're complex emotions. They are made up of a number of primal emotions like fear, anger, and so on. So they're a complex case of the interactions of a bunch of negative emotions. Managing those on a daily basis can be physically and emotionally exhausting. I'm not just saying this as a psychologist, granted, social psychologist. I'm not saying it as anybody, who studied emotions, which I did get my master's in emotional contagion. I am saying this as a trauma survivor who literally spent the first probably 2 years post-trauma completely isolated, sleeping as much as I can, not really thinking about whether I'm meeting somebody else's standards of productivity or not, even while I was trying to meet, expectations from my grad school and all of that. But my whole point is that when you are mentally exhausted, it's hard to think about productivity. It's hard to think about anything beyond, oh my gosh, can I even wake up and get out of bed and brush my teeth? Some days that does feel like a huge accomplishment, and that is okay. You get to decide what your productivity level is. You get to decide if you want to take the day off, and you get to decide if you want to level up, and if you do, how you want to level up, what the new skills you want to learn are, so on and so forth. So that's where the personal choice comes in. when you see these memes or posts, step outside of that zone of comparison, and it's tempting to think that these posts are incredibly judgmental. But I can also guarantee you that for those who are writing those posts and putting them out, they seem like huge messages of encouragement and motivation. And, these are the things that are keeping them lifted up. We may not receive it well because we're not in the same space as them. And that is totally okay. So taking away the comparison aspect of it and really assessing your productivity and what you want to do with your time through this collective traumatic period is completely a matter of personal choice. Take as long as you need to learn how to manage your emotions, to figure out what you want to do, to figure out if you even want to do anything. All of those are okay. But in doing that, also, please lean into self-awareness. And I'm saying this not to judge anybody. I'm not saying this to guide anybody or to tell anybody this is the only way that you can do this. I am a mindset coach first and foremost before anything else. And a huge piece of mindset is self-awareness, right? So I just want you to be very candid with yourself. You don't have to tell anybody else the answer. But when you think about this period being a time of productivity or not, are you looking at yourself as a fixed, frozen entity who is incapable of change? Or do you just not feel like changing right now, even though you know you're capable of change? Those are two different things, right? And that's what I want you to be aware of in terms of your mindset. You need to be completely aware in a non-judgmental way of, do you just not feel like changing even though you know you can? Or do you actually feel like you cannot change? Because if you choose not to change, even though you know you can, again, that is a matter of personal choice. If you, on the other hand, feel like what has happened in the world around us has frozen you to where you are not able to see growth at all, to see anything past the trauma at all, where you're incapable of seeing that right now, that is a completely different mindset. And that is a mindset which, with self-awareness and work, you can shift so that it is no longer about judgment, so that it is no longer about following anybody else's script. You can learn what you need to follow your own script and truly make that choice for yourself. I know this is all in the abstract, but I just really, wanted to use this testing scenario to see what this is all even about and give you this message of your productivity is determined by you. There are days when I wake up and I brush my teeth and I'm like, whew, I am so productive today. And anything else that happens after is just icing on the cake. And there are other days when I make the choice to really push myself and accomplish 15 or 20 different things. Both of those options in my case are personal choices that I make with full awareness of the choices that I'm making. And in both those cases, even on the days where I do nothing more than brush my teeth, I'm leveling up. Because again, that's a personal choice and that's a mindset. I know I'm capable of it. I just chose to take the day off, right? So that's pretty much what I wanted to tell all of you guys. I hope that helps. don't be so hard on yourself. Give yourself grace, but also don't sell yourself too short. We are going to get through this together, and we are going to become stronger and wiser as a collective and as individuals through this. We are becoming more people-centered every passing day, and we are tapping into our compassion more and more every passing day. So in that sense, as a society, most of us are on the right track. We are figuring out our priorities. We're figuring out how to treat ourselves and treat each other. So regardless of what script you want to follow, we're all leveling up. So don't ever forget that, and give yourself the grace and take care of yourself. I'll be back, if this works. I'll be on a regular schedule of live streams with more scripted and targeted conversations. I'm about to end this broadcast and see if this works. So let's see what happens. I will talk to you guys next time.